Hey, this is Helen Martis from Hypnosis Business Success, and today is Thursday here in Melbourne, Australia. And of course, every Thursday at this time, it's Top Tips Thursday. And so this is a chance, an opportunity to answer your questions about anything at all. And so if you do have any questions, stay on the line and please put them in your comments below. If you want to email them to me, my philosophy is that I will forever provide you with infinite and never-ending support. And so if you do have any questions, if you have done my systems or about to do my systems, you just email me at helen@helenmidas.com and I will answer them live here at this time every week. And so I have got a number of questions to answer. For those of you who are watching live, hello, good morning, good evening for those of you who are overseas. And Rhonda's on, and Rhonda did my May retreat. I'm going to answer your questions in a moment, Rhonda. And she says she sold her first program yesterday. Well done, girl. Well done. Awesome. It's a great feeling, isn't it? I remember my first sale that I had back in 2010. I finished training on the 31st of May 2010, and my first paid program was sold 12th of August 2010. And the feeling is just pure euphoria. It's just like, oh my God, this thought that I had in my head about having a business is actually reality. It's actually happening. So congratulations, it is such a good feeling. I remember it very clearly, and it's just all go, go, go. The momentum just builds, and then your business builds, and your confidence increases the more clients that you see. So awesome work, congratulations, well done, well done. That is fantastic, because you know we often have so many doubts about what is possible and what is not possible. And the first client that you've ever sold a program to, it's almost like, oh, you know, my business is actually a reality. It's actually happening. This is real. And nothing beats that feeling. It's amazing. And then of course, the very first time your first client says to you, wow, you know, my life has changed. That gives you the confidence to know that you are on the right path and you are serving your life's purpose. So well done. So good morning, Joanne. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all this morning. And I have got a few questions to answer this morning. If you have any questions about anything at all, I'm happy to answer them. I always say, it doesn't matter what it is, I'm happy to answer any personal questions, business questions, therapy questions, spiritual questions, anything at all. Please just put them in the comments below and I will answer them. So let's get started with today's questions that I have received, and Rhonda is on the line. So I'm glad that you're on, Rhonda, and congratulations once again for selling your first program yesterday, a brand new hypnotherapist, and you're going to take the world by fire. So congratulations. All right, let's get started, and we'll start with Rhonda's questions actually. So Rhonda, you asked in one email, you said, what do I mean by asking the client what emotions were present? So what I'm actually saying is that when you, in the very first session, the way that I have my expert therapist system is at the very first session with clients that have got emotional baggage. There is 27 breakthrough questions that get asked, and each of them very powerful. And the purpose of that session is for the client to walk away at the end of the first session with this thought in their head, which is, wow, I never thought of it that way. That's what you really want the client to walk away from their first session. I never thought of it that way. And their head is usually buzzing with the session. They've connected dots. They're seeing things differently. Everything has a different perspective, and they have incredible hope that not just hope, but they're actually confident and they're happy that they've signed up with you because they know that there's only one way, and that's forward. And so Hey Gemini, good to see you. And so with one of those first questions, it is with all the events that the client has experienced in their lifetime, all the negative events. It's the only time that we go through this is in that first session. We don't revisit that question again. So the client knows that no matter what is getting asked from a historical perspective in terms of what has happened to them, it's only that very first session. After that, it's all therapy. Now, even though the clients don't perceive the first session as therapy, of course it's therapy. So the way that you ask the questions are therapeutic because they're seeing things from a completely different perspective. So the question that Rhonda has is, what do I mean by what emotions were present? So every single negative event that the client has experienced, we ask them, so what emotion did you feel at the time for that particular event? And the reason that we ask is that we then categorize the emotions according to a certain order. And so we want to know what they were actually feeling at the time. For some events, they were feeling a number of emotions. It could be that they felt anger, sadness, hurt, a number of different emotions. And sometimes with clients, they're not consciously aware of what emotion they were actually feeling. And so all you need to do is simply say, just close your eyes for a moment. And as you remember that event, what emotion comes up for you? The moment they close their eyes and you ask them that question, the emotion will come to the fore and they will know what emotion that is. That happens every time. But most of the time you don't need to do that because they know how they felt. And sometimes you don't even have to ask what emotion was present for that particular event because they will volunteer that information. So they might say that I had an affair with somebody and I felt ashamed, I felt guilty, I felt fearful. So they're already volunteering what emotions they felt. So they're already saying that as part of their story. So of course, if they're already saying that as part of their story, you don't need to then ask the question. But what you do need to do is if they don't volunteer that information, you do need to say, so what emotion was present at the time? And 9 times out of 10, they'll be able to say that. And so that is what I mean, Rhonda. What I mean is with every event that client has experienced, every negative event, not positive event, every negative event they've experienced from the beginning of time till now, what emotion was present for that particular event at the time. Okay, if you've got any more questions about that, just let me know. Next question. Why do I ask the clients in one of those breakthrough questions, tell me one word to describe your mother, your father, your siblings, yourself? And the reason that I do that is because we only want one word, because I have found from experience that if you don't say one word, they're giving you unnecessary information that is just taking up time and is not adding any value. But by asking for one word, you're actually getting them to think very clearly and concisely. And really the whole purpose of that question is to find out what role does that person's life, what role do they play in their life? And so by giving it one word, they might also see that even though they're not getting on well with their mother, that she's actually caring. And so they say caring. Sometimes they say, one word to describe my mother, bitch. And if that's what they say, that's okay. You have an understanding of, your relationship, the client's relationship with their mother. And during the course of therapy, of course, that toxicity and that negativity and that anger is going to be lifted so that they no longer have that. So it's really finding out how they interrelate in their world, which I think is important. It's with the work that we do, it's not just about one issue. Everything is related. Everything in their life is related. The way they relate to their partners, their children, their colleagues, things that happen on a day-to-day basis in the traffic, how they react, how they respond how they respond to adversity and challenges is all interrelated. And so by asking them for one word to describe the key members of their family, we get a very good snapshot of what's going on, and we don't really need more than that at this stage. And they also are for the first time thinking about something they haven't thought about. But the most important thing, at the end of all that is to ask them one word to describe yourself. And you'll find that with a lot of people that are suffering from depression and anxiety, that they often say a negative word to describe themselves. And what I would then do is, so what's underneath that? If you say one word to describe yourself and they say anxious, so underneath that anxiety, what would be one word to describe yourself? Some people have such a negative perception when they first come into your sessions for the first time that they really struggle to say something positive about themselves. And so by this stage of the process, you would know who in their life is supportive of them. And so you would say, well, what would your best friend Kate say about you? Oh, that I'm kind. So it's good for them to actually find a word for themselves that is positive. But I do allow them to say negative words about the people in their family because that's fine, it's non-judgmental, and we're going to deal with that in the following sessions. So that's the answer to your question. So the answer to your question is, it gives you a very good understanding of their place in their world, and it also gives them a great understanding of their place in their world and how they relate to every member of their family. So that's answering those questions. So the next question I've got is from the United States, and it's all about analytical clients, over analytical clients. So we've all had them, whereby that client that comes in and is just questioning everything you're doing and is over analyzing everything you're doing. And so, hey to everybody who's just come on, Michael, Karen, lots of kisses and hugs and love sent your way. So that kind of client that is over analytical and wants to know exactly what's going on, you need to actually give them a lot of pre-talk. So as part of my expert therapist system, I do actually train my hypnotherapists on what pre-talk to give, because pre-talk is really important in setting up the scene. And so those clients need their pre-talk. They need to understand, well, why are we doing this? And give them an explanation as to why you are doing this. Now, there's a lot of statistics with hypnotherapy these days. If you go on to scholar.com, you will find a lot of studies that back the work that we do. And so have them ready at your fingertips to provide them with statistics and with data, because these over-analytical clients, they need to know that this works. And then what you also need to do is actually be very, very, strong with the way that you come across. This works. Okay, as long as you do the work, this works. So you need to be very convincing of the work that you're about to do. Karen is just saying something. I have to say, I saw a wonderful young dad husband that wanted to stop drinking. He was amazed when I used your system in the second session to eliminate anger. I love what you did. Oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you so much, beautiful lady. Karen's from United States, and she is kicking goals, literally and metaphorically, with her system about helping athletes achieve their optimum results. So we've all got a purpose, we've all got a path to follow, we've all got unique qualities and abilities, so we need to nurture them as much as possible. And so just getting back to your over analytical clients, what you must do is you must give appropriate pre-talk and explain why this is necessary. And also make sure that they complete their tasks. And again, every single task that you give them, why this is necessary. It's not because you just want them to do it, but why? How would that task be of benefit to them in between sessions? And you need to come across as quite authoritative. So you need to actually say, this works. There's no doubt about it. I've seen thousands of clients. This absolutely works. And so they need to have trust in that process and know that it does absolutely work. So are there any questions at all with the people online? I'm happy to answer more questions. So I'll just wait a couple of seconds to see if there's any questions. No questions. So exciting things. If you think of any questions, I'll just talk for a couple more minutes. And if you think of any questions on anything at all, I'm happy to answer them right here. Confidence in your skills is key. Yes. So clients can actually feel if you're not feeling confident. And the number one gateway to success is for your clients to believe in your authority and in your ability to help them heal. And so they need to be convinced of that. So even if you are floundering underneath the surface, even if you are feeling unsure, it's crucial that you appear confident. So just remember this, even if you've got a system and a process that you have learned and you know how to do, they don't know what you're doing. And so they are trusting that what you know is the right path for them. So you need to appear confident with whatever is going on in the session. That is absolute key. Make sure you do that. So exciting times for me actually, because I've actually grounded myself now. I am not doing the usual travel that I was doing last year. I've just got back from New Zealand, and a huge number of my Kiwis are coming to my retreat in October, which I am thrilled about. I love Kiwis. Kiwis and Americans are my favorite people. Of course, I love all people, but there's something about Kiwis which is just got a phone call then, which I have declined. And so I'm really excited that a whole stack of them are coming in October for my retreat. So lots of things happening, but only one lot of half days is left for the year. That's all. I'm really cut down my activities to focus on what's important, because when you focus, that's when you feel better about what's going on in your life, and that's where the most success happens, is when you're focusing and you're clear and you've got clarity and vision about what's going on. And so my half days will be in Melbourne, Auckland, Brisbane and Sydney in September. That's it. They're the only half days that I'm giving this year. So Auckland, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. So in the pinned post above, you'll see what the event's about there. So basically I take my hypnotherapist through what's the number one thing that they're doing wrong as to why they haven't got success in their business. And by success, I mean business success and therapeutic success. So you want to feel good about yourself. You want to make sure that what you're delivering gets results, because that makes you feel good. When you don't deliver a holistic solution to a problem and you're only delving with what the symptoms are presenting themselves, then you won't feel good as a therapist. So you need to know that what you're doing is achieving transformational results for your clients. And so I'm going to be talking about that. Now, when I had the half day in Auckland this last weekend, people walk away from the session saying, I've already implemented, what you talked about in the half day. So in September is my last lot of half days. Also, I have embarked on the journey, which is my biggest vision to date, about HypnoFit licensing and having HypnoFit licensed partners, because they are going to be my business partners across the globe. It's not like I'm going to be the one who controls everything. Everybody who joins the HypnoFit licensing program is a licensing partner. And so I'm so excited about that. I'm having interviews at the moment with prospects, and one has already signed up. So that's exciting. And then of course there's something exciting in the works that me and my new business partner Clive Girdham is doing, which is hush at the moment, but it will come out soon. So exciting stuff. Focus brings on success. So make sure that you have clarity in what you're doing. You're clear as to your why you're doing it. And when you are clear about your why, you will absolutely enjoy success. All you need to do is learn from someone who has been down that path, and that way you can fast track your way down there. You don't have to work it out yourself. Nobody does things on their own. Every time I have stepped up to another level, it's always been by the assistance of a mentor who is already doing what I want to do. And so it's exactly what's happening now. My mentor at the moment, she is a franchisor of the year, and she has spread her brand to over 40 countries across the globe, and she's teaching me what to do with HypnoFit. So I'm not working it out myself. I try to do that, and I wasn't giving what I needed to give. Now I know that what I'm giving is awesome and amazing, and that's what you need to do, is get clarity, focus, and learn from someone who's already doing what you want to do. Okay, so if you want to know anything about anything that I have just spoken about, please send me a private message or send me an email to helen@helenmidas.com. I will always answer your questions. Now, let's see. I've got somebody saying something up here that I missed. Okay, so Rhonda, you've got some more questions. What I might do, Rhonda, is actually answer them at the VIP page. So any expert therapists out there who have done my system, make sure you get yourself on the HypnoStars VIP family, and I will answer any more questions there. So I'll have a look at your question, and I will answer it on the VIP page directly after this Facebook Live. So get yourself on the next page. I'll be there in 5 minutes. And Karen has said something. My business coach did timeline with me today to eliminate some limiting beliefs. It was so powerful and reaffirmed everything you teach. Absolutely. We hold ourselves back with our own limiting beliefs about things that we think is the benchmark, and nothing else is possible. So we need to question what our beliefs are about our views about the world and what's possible, and we've got to get rid of them. We need our own therapy all the time. And what other questions have we got? Okay, and Joanne, you've got questions as well, very specific questions. So what I'll do is I'll answer them on the VIP page. So get yourself on the HypnoStars VIP family page, and I'll bring you online to talk to you directly, because I need to ask questions. I can't answer them here because I need to bring you online. All right, so see you ladies, the ones that have asked other questions on the VIP family page, see you there. For those of you who want to connect live, half-day workshops in September, the only ones I'm running for this year, Brisbane, Auckland, Sydney, Melbourne. See you there. Mwah. Oh, I've got this final question. Where do I find the information at your half days? I will put it as a comment here on this post, but on the pinned post on this page, Hypnosis Business Success, is always a link to my half days. Okay, so I will give you the information, but you can find it as well. All right, see ya.